Hello, I'm digital correspondent Sarah Strackhouse for RNC, and thanks so much for joining us. There's been a lot of conversation after the deadly shootings over the weekend in Ohio and Texas. There's been conversations about mental health, guns, video games. Today we're bringing in the brain health expert, the founder of the Brain Performance Center, Lee Richardson. Lee, how you doing?
Great, Sarah. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So like we said, there's been a lot of conversation, especially about mental health. Can you talk about the differences between mental health, mental stability, and what that all means?
Well, what we've really heard in the news is mental illness, and do these shooters, do they profile as having mental illness? And some do, but not all. There is a profile that they all share. It's interesting, since 2006, there's a database that profiles the mass shooters, and 12 of those mass shootings have been committed by someone 21 years or younger.
Wow.
That is such a young brain. That brain is not fully developed until the mid to late 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes you wonder, is there impulsivity in there? Is there, certainly what they have found is there's anger.
Mm-hmm.
There's an anger in every single one of them. They're angry at society. They don't even comprehend society. And most of them are socially isolated.
Wow.
No sense of community. And that community can come from your family, from your church, from your work, from your school. It can come from a lot of places. But no sense of community. The only sense of identity that some of them have had has been with an online forum group.
Wow.
And that is empty space.
Mm-hmm.
That is not a real connection.
So do you think the social media being kind of very present in our world, do you think that's been a negative for some of these people or a positive? Talk a little bit more about that.
I think it's been a negative for some of them. I know we all enjoy Facebook, and we enjoy seeing people that we haven't seen in 20 years, and there's a lot of good to it. But for some, when you really don't know how to express yourself and you really aren't sure what you're looking for or how you're going to get there, and you go online and you see something, you go, wow, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. So I think that now it's been almost 1 week, and we're starting to see the shock wave is kind of going away, and people, I know I was in shock for the first 2 to 3 days. I was in shock.
I got those alerts on my phone and I couldn't believe it. They were, especially how back-to-back they were. I feel like it was, unbelievable.
And then some of us go into denial that did it really happen?
Mm-hmm.
Some of us go into anger.
Yeah.
Some of us go into grief. And I really commend the community in El Paso for what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're having group meetings in family homes, and they're talking about what happened. And what they're hearing is fear. Because now that it's all settled down, our brain, our mental health, our vulnerability, we're all aware of it. And actually, that is what motivated me to write a book, Brain On, Game On. Because we all focus about mental illness, and mental illness is totally different than mental health.
Yeah.
And we all go through periods where we're not stable mentally. A dog dies. A best friend moves away, a divorce, some things happen, it's life, and it leaves us mentally unstable. So we have to recognize that.
Yeah.
And most importantly, we have to say, it is okay. And when I'm feeling anxious or I'm feeling depressed, instead of getting that looping thought just going on and on and on, oh, it's terrible, I'm so worried about the future, I'm so worried about the past. 80% of us are either lost in the past or worried about the future. We have to stay present. And to be productive, you've got to stay present.
It's difficult to do.
It is. And the core of that is self-care. And, I've said this before, self-care is not a bottle of wine and Netflix.
No. Though some of us, I'm sure, love to indulge in that.
Absolutely.
But, before you talk about mental health so much, and you're so great at getting that conversation out there, just talking about El Paso and the fact that they're talking. It used to be a little bit more taboo, but now self-help is huge, and you're contributing to that with your book.
That's the intent of the book. You know, we talk about a lot of things. We talk about emotional influencers and what you can do, how you can wrap your arms around those. When people come in and they say, I'm really anxious, lean into it. You know, embrace it. Don't just close your eyes and it'll go away. This too shall pass, because it won't.
Yeah. Well, what's the best way for people to get a hold of your book?
The best way, we're going to be able to pre-order off the website effective September 1st. And to learn more about it, it'll be on the website, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Perfect. And people can always direct message you on Facebook, Instagram, send you any messages on LinkedIn as well. And I know your website, thebrainperformancecenter.com, will have that pre-order. When will that be available, you said?
September 1st.
Great. Exciting. Okay. And then I know people can also find you on advisorycloud.com, correct?
That is correct.
All right. Wonderful. Lee, anything else you want to leave people with?
Just the knowledge that mental health is just as important as physical health. And start to understand it, learn about it. Self-care, brain on, game on.
Awesome. Lee, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right. For Real News, I'm Sarah Strackhouse.